This movie will be discussing Tchoukball and how it fits into a 20-day unit for a 6th through 8th grade class.
Within this unit, we will be using a teaching, personal, and social responsibility model, or TPSR, followed by teaching games for understanding, and then a culminating activity using the sport education model. Tchoukball is a Swiss game that is played with two teams competing against one another. There are two frames, which are the small rebounders on each end of the playing area. A semicircle is formed around the frame, which is known as the forbidden zone, which offensive and defensive players may not enter. Offensive players may take 3 steps with the ball, hold the ball for no more than 3 seconds, and make 3 passes before they attempt to score. Teams are able to score on either frame. In order to score, a player must throw the ball off the frame and have the ball land outside of the forbidden zone, which we will now see. The defensive team may not intercept a pass or interfere with an offensive player. Tchoukball is a non-contact sport. Defenders may prevent the offensive team from scoring by catching the ball before it has hit the ground after hitting the frame, as you will see here.
Unit goals. Student will be able to demonstrate competency in the motor skills of running, throwing, and catching. This covers the psychomotor domain. Student will be able to demonstrate an understanding of responsibilities across a variety of tournament jobs. This covers the cognitive and affective domain. Student will be able to demonstrate cooperation with teammates, coaches, and officials. This demonstrates affective domain. Student will be able to demonstrate their critical thinking skills by explaining game tactics and decisions when asked. This covers the cognitive domain. Student will be able to demonstrate cardiovascular endurance by playing in a complete 8-minute game without a break. This covers the fitness domain. We chose these goals because we thought they best represent the knowledge we want students to leave the unit with. We want students to be able to have proper motor skills and understand the responsibility that comes with joining a team, so they can be set up for success if they decide to join a recreational sports league outside the physical education environment. Students should also show cardiovascular improvement throughout the unit, as it will be a focus for us every week.
For this unit, we decided to put emphasis on standards 1, 3, and 4. Standard 1 focuses on the psychomotor domain. As seen here, within Standard 1, Tchoukball requires players to throw and receive while both stationary and moving, as well as traveling in different locomotor patterns with different speeds and changes in direction. Because the offensive team can score on either end of the playing area, maintaining a low athletic stance, pivots, and fakes are a crucial aspect of the game. The next standard addressed is Standard 3. As fitness is a secondary aspect of this unit, students will be expected to maintain a level of fitness outside of the classroom. This will aid students both in the PACER test as well as in gameplay. Lastly is Standard 4, which pertains to the affective domain. Tchoukball is a game that evolved from handball with the ideas of fair play and sportsmanship at its core. With this in mind, the unit stresses the students' ability to cooperate and accept individuals of different skill levels in a positive way.
Week 1. We will be conducting PE metric and PACER pretest to give us an idea where students' motor skills and fitness level are. During week 1, we will be focusing on fundamental motor skills that relate to Tchoukball. After we assess students, we will introduce them to Tchoukball and guide them through the game while they learn the rules. This is an example of the pre and post test we will use. Excellent would be student meets all of the cues and throws with accuracy. Competency would be student shows competency in at least 2 cues. Needs improvement is student does not show competency in 2 or more skills. PE metrics rubric. In this PE metrics assessment, students will be videotaped at an angle behind their dominant side. Students will then be asked to throw a ball overhand within the designated area 3 times. The criteria for competency are as follows. 1. Throwing elbow shoulder high with side orientation and preparation for the throw. A. Trunk rotation with elbow lagging behind hip. B. Weight transfer to non-throwing foot. 2. Hits target on wall. This will be demonstrated in the following clip.
What? That one like used? That was wow. That was a strike. I have a limp wrist on my left side right now. Don't get me. Get me real quick.
Pacer test. Pre-test will be the final assessment of week 1 and post-test will be towards the end of the unit. 20-meter test for each student. Student will have to get weight on foot to touch the line before audio beeps. Second time not reaching line after the beep, student will stop test. We will be looking for improvement from pre-test to post-test. We will have an 8-minute cardio warm-up 3 times a week to help student work on improving score. For this age, there is no recommended lap count, but it can help show students that their fitness is improving.
In week 2, we focus on the tactics of the game. The beginning of the week starts off with offensive skills such as setting up the attack, winning the point, and moving to open space. On day 9, we move to defending space, and on day 10, we then work on transition from offense to defense. The assessments for this week will be used as the checks for understanding and Q&A sessions within the lesson, as well as a ticket to leave that will be used at the end of each lesson. Here is one example of a ticket to leave and potential correct answers. The ticket to leave will be used as an informal assessment at the end of each class during the second week of the unit. This allows the teacher to check for student understanding of the day's lesson and to evaluate where the class stands as a whole. Week 3 begins off with gameplay that will be videotaped. The teacher will be looking for an understanding of the game's concepts and the game itself. Video tagger will be used as a form of assessment to mark off appropriate and inappropriate decision-making of the students involved. On day 14, the sport education module will be introduced, and the classes will be divided up into 4 teams of 5 members. The first day will be a practice plan assignment that will be handed out to the coaches of each team, and day 15 will be the first day of practice.
Week 3 practice plan assignment. This will be used as a cognitive assessment. Requirements: 3 one-page practice plans for the 3 practice days. Must include a 5-minute warm-up led by the coach, a 5-minute stretch period led by the coach, 2 to 4 drills per practice, taking up a total of 20 minutes. A drawing of all drills and space needed as well as setup and list of equipment. Minimum of 1 practice plan should include 2 team-created plays. Play name must be teacher approved. Step-by-step drawing of team members' movement during play. Week 4 is a continuation of the sport ed model that was introduced in week 3. Days 16 and 17 will be 2 practice days for team to make their final preparations. On day 18, the tournament will begin and conclude with a final game on day 20. The psychomotor post-test and pacer post-test will conduct during this week. The post-test will be a peer evaluation using the same rubric and chart as the pre-test, and the pacer test will be a self-assessment for students to evaluate their fitness improvement.
Our culminating event is a 3-day tournament where each class has been split up into 4 teams consisting of 5 members and 1 coach. The games will be 8 minutes long with 1 game happening at a time. The 2 sitting teams will be peer assessing. The first team will be refereeing with the remaining members assessing their teammates, and the second team will be assessing individuals playing in the game. This peer assessing will be our psychomotor post-test that happens at the end of the unit. The first 2 days of the tournament will be a round-robin style, where each team will play each other once, resulting in 3 games per team. Teams will then be seeded based on their record for day 3, where the first seed will play the 4th and the second will play the 3rd, and the winners of both games will then reach the final. Seen here is a brief recap of assessments used within this unit. All 4 domains have been assessed. There will be 4 different teacher assessments, 1 in each domain, as well as 3 peer assessments where students will evaluate one another in the psychomotor, cognitive, and affective domains. Students will be asked to self-assess themselves in both the psychomotor and the fitness domain. In total, there are 9 assessments throughout this unit with a minimum of 2 assessments per domain.